Hi, I'm Asya Haikeb, and this is Sun and Moon Yoga Studio YouTube channel. And we'll be doing a lot of standing poses today. So we'll start with centering. So if you're sitting, I like to use a blanket under my sit bones. It helps me to be more upright, so feel free to use some support for sitting. Just take a moment to find a supported position and close your eyes for a moment. So as you're sitting here, just bring your awareness to your foundation. Notice how your body contacts the floor here. So feel where your legs and perhaps your ankles are resting on the floor. Feel your hips on the floor on the blanket. Now feel that you can root down through that foundation. And then from that rooting, lengthen up through the spine. So you can feel both actions together, the rooting down through the hips, through the legs, and then the rise through the spine, and perhaps all the way through the crown of the head. So maintaining that sense of grounding and lift. Bring your focus to your breathing right now. Just noticing how your breath moves in the body. Noticing how the body expands with the breath. Right now, let's focus on the exhalations. As you exhale, let your breath release fully. And let your inhalation just come in automatically, so there's no effort to inhale. As you exhale, you're releasing the breath. As you inhale, you're receiving the breath. Notice how your breath expands in 3 dimensions. Begin to notice the transition from the exhale to the inhale. Notice how there is a little pause at the end of the exhale. And from that pause, the inhalation rises. After your next exhalation, bring your awareness to your body again, just feeling the hips against the floor, feeling the spine rising, and then becoming aware of the room around you, still with your eyes closed, just orienting yourself in the space you're in. And then open your eyes. So let's start by stretching the legs out. Just take a moment to uncross your legs, point your toes to stretch the top of the ankle, and then flex to stretch the back of the heel, just moving the feet around a little bit. And then we'll cross the legs again. So we'll start here in sitting by warming up our spine. So as you exhale, let your whole back round. So I'm holding onto my knees here, letting the back round. And then on the inhalation, I'm bringing the chest forward and the shoulders back. And as I move, my breath really goes with the movement. So I'm finding a way that Feels easy to coordinate that breath and the movement. Now, as you come forward, focus more on the chest and the shoulders. And as you go back, focus on the lower spine. Moving, extending on the inhale, rounding on the exhale, moving through the lower back. Inhaling, chest forward, shoulders back, exhaling, rounding. And as I exhale, I'm almost hanging back from the knees. So it just gives me a nice stretch to the upper back and shoulders. And then the chest comes forward. And now let's begin to make the movements smaller, just minimizing the movements. And eventually sitting in the middle. Let's stretch the legs out. And crossing. Make your feet around. Now let's come into table pose. So I like to use a blanket to pad my knees. So we'll continue moving the spine here from table pose. Let's bring the hips back towards the heels. Finding length through the spine. And then on the inhale, come to all fours, bring the chest forward, shoulders back. And just keep moving with the breath. So we're reaching back, coming into extended child's pose on the exhale. And then on the inhale, chest comes forward as the shoulders move back. And then let's land in table pose. And from table, walk your hands to the right side of your mat. So let your right hand come off the mat and your left hand comes closer to the edge of the mat. So we're in a little bit of a side bend. And then from here, go ahead and draw your hips back towards your heels. And just going slowly and breathing, finding the length through that side. And inhale. Lifting up and walk your hands to the other side of the mat. Left hand comes off, right hand comes close to the edge. And then you're drawing the hips back, you're lengthening and reaching, breathing. Just be mindful of what that feels like in your body. Only doing what feels good. And then back into table. Let's walk the knees out a little bit wider, just so that we have a wider foundation. And then reaching up with the right arm, turn the chest up. And on the exhale, slide the right arm underneath the left arm. So we're not going to land the shoulder, we'll just slide the arm through and turn the head. And then on the inhale, come back up, open, exhale, slide the arm under. Inhale, open, turn the chest up. Exhale, slide. Inhale, open, and back into table. And then the other side. Reaching up with the left arm, slide it under. Lifting up and slide. And one more time. Open, so feel this movement in your upper back. Reach and lift. Landing back in table pose. And then lengthening both sides. So stretching the hips back towards the heels as you reach the arms forward. Noticing what the breath feels like right here. Taking a few more breaths in this position. Come into table. Now let's spread the fingers out. Just create a firm foundation and tuck the toes under. So we're going to come into down dog pose. And if you have a wrist issue that makes dog pose uncomfortable, just do the puppy dog. So you can stay right here. So this is a perfectly fine version. If you'd like to lift your knees, you can go all the way up. So just taking a moment here, bending one knee at a time to open the back of the knee. And then eventually stretching through both legs as you draw your thighs back and draw your heels back. Keep the arms steady. Feel like you're lifting the hips. Finding smooth breath. And then bring the knees down. Untuck your toes and bring the hips back. Just take a moment here in child's pose. Use your arms to support your forehead. Bring the head down. Noticing your breath here. And then inhaling, roll up, reach the arms forward. Let's take one more down dog or puppy dog. Tucking the toes under. Finding stability, so activate your arms, firmly pressing into the floor. So here in down dog, we use the arms for being strong. So you use your arms for standing here. You're rooting with the arms, lifting the hips, and then pressing back with the thighs, and also finding your legs here, activating the legs as you press your thigh back. And the knees can stay bent, that's perfectly fine. So just starting to wake up your legs this morning. And taking a few more breaths. And then bring the knees down. Taking child's pose. And as you inhale, roll up. And we'll come up to standing. So you can move your props out of the way, bringing ourselves up to standing position. So as we come up to standing, let's notice our feet first. So when we were sitting, the foundation was pretty wide. So here is just our two little feet. So let's start with the feet together. Just notice what that feels like. So standing with the feet close together, creating a sense of rooting and grounding through the feet. So notice, kind of it feels like I'm balancing. So it kind of takes a little effort to balance here because my base is really narrow. So notice what that feels like for you. And then go ahead and step a little bit wider to about hip width. And notice what that feels like. So it's not about doing it right or wrong. It just creates a different effect in our body. So noticing what it feels like to stand like this with the feet about hip width. Now take your hands to your hips and go out even wider. So wide stance, but not too challenging at this point, about 3 feet or so. Let's bend the knees slightly and feel like you're pressing your feet into the mat, like you're trying to stretch your mat a little bit with your feet. Pressing down. And then keep rooting into the floor as you make your legs straighter. Take your arms out. 5-pointed star. Rooting through the feet, lengthening up through the spine, stretching out through the arms. So just like in sitting, we were finding the rooting action and then the lifting action. So notice how that feels like in standing. Find a sense of rooting through the feet and a sense of lift through the spine. Now take your hands to your hips. Let's go a little bit wider. Not to where you feel precarious, but maybe just slightly more stretch in the legs. Turning the toes out, so turn your toes out towards the corners of the mat. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Letting the hips lower. Pressing the feet into the mat here. Feel like you're trying to stretch the mat with your feet. Again, take your arms out and bend the elbows. Goddess warrior pose. So notice what kind of effect this pose creates in your body. How does it feel? Notice how the legs feel. So as we stay there, maybe the legs are getting a little bit tired. Keep rooting down with a sense of strength, stability. Keep lifting up through the spine, broadening the shoulders, broadening the arms. And then coming up, just standing, and step the legs in. Just standing with the feet hip width. Just checking in with the body here. Now let's step out again. So go right to your wide stance, legs wide apart. Turn the toes out, stretch your arms out, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Goddess warrior. Finding balanced position in the legs. So notice if one knee tends to bend more than the other. Notice if one leg is working harder than the other. So this is all just something that we notice in our bodies. And then coming to straight legs, just turn your legs to the right side. So let your right foot turn out as your left foot turns in. So we've turned the feet, but not turn the shoulders. So you may be noticing a little bit of a twist through the belly. Keep rooting down through the legs and the feet, lengthening up through the spine, opening the arms. Now bend the right knee. So we're coming into warrior two here. Turn your head, looking out over the fingertips. Notice your breath here. Find a smooth and steady breath. And as you maintain your warrior pose, so again, check in through the feet, through the legs, finding a sense of stability and rooting. So we can stand firmly on this earth. We can feel strong no matter what. We're standing strong and supporting each other. Now as you inhale, reverse your arms. Bring the left arm back, right arm over. Opening the right side. And exhale, open the arms out again. Come up, turn the feet forward. Turn the toes out, bend the knees. So we'll transition through goddess warrior. Once again. So notice, so now you're in a symmetrical pose. Notice what that feels like. And then coming towards straight legs, turn your legs to the left side. Bend the left knee. Turn your head, look out of your fingertips. So once you find your position, continue grounding through the feet, finding stability in the legs, lift and length through the spine. Notice what kind of attitude, feeling does this pose create in your body? What does it feel like to be a warrior? Now reverse your arms. Bringing your arms over. Steady, smooth breath. Exhale, arms out. Straighten your leg, turn the feet in, and step in to hip width. Now let's come into forward bend. Softening the knees, start folding at the hips, keeping the knees slightly soft or bend as much as you need. Release the spine over the legs, release the arms, release the neck, just coming forward as far as comfortable for you. And so once you're in the forward bend, reactivate your legs. Press the feet down. Press the thighs back. So not necessarily straightening them, but activating.
even if the knees stay bent. Feel the heels and the front of the foot pressing down as the sit bones lift. Exhale, bend the knees a little more. Hands to your hips, press through the feet to come up to standing. Step your legs out again, wide stance. Turn the toes out. Stretch the arms out. 5-pointed star. Rooting down, lifting up. Just being in your body. What does that feel like? Experiencing the standing pose. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Goddess warrior. Balancing, rooting, and lifting. Inhaling, straight legs. Turn your legs to the right. Right foot turning out, left foot turning in as you keep your arms open, shoulders broad. Bend the right knee. Lining up that knee over the heel. Both legs steady. Now reach the arm to the inside of the knee to bend knee triangle pose. It's a very strong position. Keep stability in the legs. Chest turning towards the front. Rooting through the feet, through the legs, lengthening through the spine. Breathing. So notice, what does this feel like to maintain this posture? To notice the effort involved. Notice your breath. So if you need to come out, feel free to come out or stay there for a couple more breaths. Legs supporting you. And then press through the feet to come up. Turn the feet forward. Turn the toes out, bend the knees. And straight legs again. Let's turn legs to the left side. Left foot turning out. Bending the left knee. Reach over. Arm comes to the inside of the leg. Turning the chest. So other side, noticing how this side feels like. Continuing to root and lengthen. So here, rooting through the feet, finding stability through the legs, and then finding the length through the spine. So notice if you can find that length from your back leg all the way through the crown of the head. Rooting and lengthening. Finding a more steady breath. Now pressing through the feet, come up, turn the feet forward, take your hands to your hips. Now walk your feet a little wider if that works for you, with your toes turned out. Slightly bend your knees as you come into forward bend. So this time, so if you have a prop, you can use it to support your hands. So I can use my blanket here if I need a little bit of height. Draw the chest forward. So also I'm bending my knees. That's perfectly fine so that the spine can stay long. Keeping the spine long. And just like in dog pose, so as you stay here, you can start activating your legs, pressing the feet down, pressing the thighs back. So you can stay right here, or you can walk your hands back to continue moving into your forward bend. As you walk your hands back, the fingers line up with the toes. The head releases down towards the floor. Noticing your breath here. Continuing to root through the feet. But the
the upper body here releases down. So notice how there's the lift through the legs, through the lower body, and then release through the upper body. Come up into your fingertips and draw the chest forward. Take a few little steps in. Press through the feet to come up to standing. Just stand right here, checking in with your body. Now we'll take one more standing pose. Let's start facing the short side of the mat. Hands on your hips, slightly soften the knees and ground through the soles of the feet. Shift the weight into your right leg and take your left leg back. So taking a step back. Shoulders, chest facing forward. So ending up here in Warrior One stance. Inhale, bring the arms up, rooting down through the feet, lifting up through the fingers. Feel your breath. So noticing how your legs are working here. How are they supporting you? Now step forward. Recenter. Shift the weight to your left leg. Now right leg steps back. Noticing what this side feels like. So your left knee bends over the heel. Inhale, bring the arms up. Use your exhalation to root down. Use your inhalations to lift. Taking a few more breaths here in Warrior One. Now hands to your hips, step forward. And fold at the hips. Bring your hands into the crooks of the elbows now. So as you come into this forward bend, keep your knees bent as much as you need to. Again, keeping the legs active, allow your upper body to release. Now press through the feet, take your hands to your hips to come up to standing. And then please go ahead and come to lying on your back. So coming down to your mat. So I'm going to stay seated, but you go ahead and lie on your back. So go ahead and lie flat on your back. Letting your body settle and relax into the floor. And then bend your knees and walk your feet in. Lining up the heels under the knees. Take your arms out to the sides to ground the shoulder blades. Press your feet and your shoulders into the floor, and as you inhale, start rolling up into bridge pose. So lift your hips up, lift your spine away from the floor, rolling up towards your shoulders. And on the exhale, roll the spine back down to the floor. Just keep following your breath here, rolling up on the inhale, lifting the hips, rolling the spine away from the floor, rolling down on the exhale. And the next time you come up on your inhalation, hold your bridge pose. So staying up in your bridge pose, grounding the feet, grounding the shoulders as you continue to lift. Breathing smoothly. And exhaling, lower the hips. Stretch your legs out on the floor, just lying flat on your back for a moment. And then bring the knees in towards your chest. Just hug the knees in, do a little rocking side to side. Feel like you're massaging your back against the floor. You can also relax your neck to let your head roll side to side. Just doing any movements that feel really good right now. And then let go of your legs, stretching out on your back. So we're going to do Shavasana. I'll guide you through a relaxation. So you can lie flat on your back. You can use your props to support your head or your knees. So just take a moment here to settle so you'll be comfortable for the next few minutes. As you exhale, allow your body to feel heavy against the floor. Relaxing into the floor. Relaxing the feet, legs, hips, belly, lower back, mid back, upper back, chest. Relax your hands, forearms, upper arms, shoulders. Relax the neck, jaw, face, eyes, forehead. Relax the thoughts in your mind. Let your thoughts float by like clouds without holding on to them. Let your awareness draw deeper within. Begin to deepen your breath. Moving your fingers and toes to start waking up the body. And taking your time, bend your knees, walk your feet in. Just rolling onto your right side as you're ready, pausing on your side for a moment. Now use your arms to slowly make your way up to sitting. Just come into a comfortable seated position. Let's have the eyes closed. Right now, place your right palm at the heart center, right at the center of the chest, and then place your left palm on top of your right palm. Just taking a moment here to feel the palms against your chest. Noticing the feeling, the sensation that creates in your body. And take a moment here to feel a sense of gratitude for this morning, for your own self taking this time to practice. And take a moment to send loving kindness to everyone around us, all the people who need our support right now. And then release your hands, open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Namaste.